In a world full of minimalistic homes, sharp designs, and lots of right angles, we forget about the historical districts full of character that are so hard to replicate. Well, if a community like that one is one you're looking for, I got one for you. Franklin, Michigan, an area that most people have no idea existed. Maybe it's out in the middle of nowhere where the population is less than 50 people. Not exactly. This 2.66 square mile village is situated in Metro Detroit's own Oakland County with a population of around 3,200 people. Be sure to stick around as I touch on all things Franklin, Michigan, from things to do, things to know, home prices, property taxes, and things you would never expect this little area to be ranked so highly for. Let's get to it. Let's start with the question, what is Franklin, Michigan known for? It's actually a loaded question for this little village, believe it or not. For starters, it's the first district that was listed on the National Registry of Historical Places back in 1969 in Michigan. Franklin is referred to as the town that time forgot due to how well the 19th century buildings and charming historic village atmosphere have been so well preserved. They don't even have cars over there. It's all horse and buggy and it's just crazy. I'm just kidding, of course. The historic downtown is very, very small, but it's safe to say the local businesses have made the most of it, offering a village center full of locally owned boutiques. There's a Comerica Bank, an upscale resale shop, a boutique fitness studio, Event Bliss and Gifts, Franklin Auto Service, Franklin Cleaners, Franklin Nails and Spa, Lake House Studio Design, pet shop, interior designer, a salon, a jeweler, a wine store, the Village Boutique for shopping, and Zeeb and Mare, if I'm saying that correctly, for upscale shopping too. So despite me taking 5 seconds to rattle off all of the businesses, it's safe to say shopping can be a one-of-a-kind experience in good old Franklin, Michigan. On top of the businesses, they have some events to get the community involved, like the one and only Summer Block Party that happens late August, Frankenstein Frenzy during Halloween, Sip, Shop, and Stroll during December for holiday shopping, and Shop Your Heart Out, a February event supporting the girls out there since a lot of businesses in Franklin are woman-owned. If you're someone who knows of Franklin, Michigan, or you're someone who's done some brief research, you'd know the Franklin Cider Mill is a massive, massive attraction in the area and demonstrates the preservation of the village's history, as this mill has been through, I'd say, several hands since 1837, having financial issues for the completion, to a few floods creating more setbacks, and to this day, since the year 1966, the Peltz family has maintained this historic gem and made it an annual tradition for so many families to this day. Michigan is ranked number 3 in apple production, and Franklin Cider Mill uses Michigan apples only. If you're looking for some quality cider and donuts in Michigan, I highly suggest you make a visit. It's safe to say the cider mill has some experience doing it. With the cider mill in mind, beyond the Main Street area, there's also Franklin Country Club, Franklin Athletic Club, Franklin Community Krieger House, which is a historical landmark in Franklin, and Franklin Public Library. And I know what you're thinking. You're going to starve to death because there is just no food in this area. And I get it, but understand that Franklin is in the thick of it, having Bloomfield Hills toward the north, Birmingham just northeast, Farmington Hills to the west, and Southfield to the south. Franklin also borders Telegraph Road on the east, which is full of options, and has Northwestern Highway to the south that has more options as well. I can assure you no one in Franklin is starving for food options. They are definitely nearby. Franklin, Michigan is jam-packed full of residential housing, where most people passing through will head along 13-mile road without even thinking they are blowing through the village of Franklin, or even Franklin Road too, where they just go right on through the thoroughfare and just not even realize they're going right through this village. Something else Franklin, Michigan is known for is big estate style homes. This is a place where you can be secluded and tucked away from everyone while being in the middle of everything. This graph provided by the MLS shows the average sale price over the last 3 years, with the whole MLS in blue, Franklin Village in green, and as you can see, the average sale price is over $950,000, which was a 26.3% decrease year over year. And I know what you're thinking. It must not be that good if sale prices are dropping that low. The reality is, based on current and sold inventory over the last 12 months, there's a $300,000 3-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom home with over 1,600 square feet on 0.39 acres and built in 1953 to this almost $7 million Tudor with 6 bedrooms, 14 bathrooms, 22,659 total square feet, situated on 1.75 acres, and built in 2009. All that just to say that prices fluctuate quite a bit, to say the least. So when a few of those $7 million homes sell one year and not the next, it makes a difference on the charts. Before I stroll on, I want to shed light on some other notable rankings about Franklin, Michigan as it relates to the points I want to touch on later. For starters, Franklin, Michigan ranks number 4 of 620 places with the best public schools in Michigan, number 4 of 336 suburbs with the best public schools in Michigan, and number 13 of 802 best places to raise a family in Michigan. You might be sitting back thinking, wait, what? Where were Franklin, Michigan schools in the rankings? Well, back in 1945, the Franklin School District joined Birmingham Public Schools, even though in 1827, Michigan's territorial council states that every township with 50 or more people needed to have a school, which they did, creating a small schoolhouse that eventually to 2 more schools. And after the third one burnt down, they joined good old Birmingham schools. There's also the Franklin Community Preschool and Hutta School and Montessori as well. So in a property tax sense, this makes a difference. So that's something to keep in mind when choosing an area around here to live. So I will pull up the Michigan property tax estimator that I will link in the description for you. I mentioned this early on, but since there's always new viewers here, I wanted to mention that there's a disclaimer on the bottom that talks about the previous year's rates being posted each year on August. So before August, the millage rates, what's used to calculate property taxes here in Michigan, can be inaccurate. So in order to combat that, I will continue to link the PDF of millage rates for cross-referencing. Just control find the area and make sure the rate is the same as the estimator. If not, take that millage rate and multiply it by 50% of the list price of the home and divide it by 1,000 to get an estimate of your annual property tax amount. In this case, taking advantage of Birmingham schools in Birmingham comes out to be a millage rate of 38.6577, whereas in Franklin with Birmingham schools is 34.9456, which is a difference of $1,862 a year when based on a $950,000 home. More than likely, if you're buying a home for that much, you may not care that much, but if you're looking to save a few bucks, this is a way to do it. For those of you watching, is Franklin a place you call home? Why or why not? Comment your thoughts below. If you're thinking about moving to Michigan in one day or a million, feel free to reach out anytime. I also have a link to the Living in Michigan newsletter to give you insight on all things Michigan, so be sure to subscribe to that so you never miss out. Thanks for watching. Until next time.